Ladies and gents, welcome back to the EU Gears Pro League. My name is Ton. I am here with Fru once again. The first game was our first two new teams, if you like. Of course, Riga Reserve now choosing to go over towards Oxygen with different players and a brand new team in No Mercy going up against each other. Convincing win for Oxygen if you didn't miss it. But one thing that has been consistent throughout this Pro League is that Rated R and Elevate have been at the top. We're going to get to see them face each other once again. Fru, very excited to get into this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. These games are always fantastic, right? They're always back and forth. They're always high octane, high energy, and high skill as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're always a fantastic matchup, always very, very close. Notoriously, it has went backwards and forwards between these two. Of course, last season, we did see right down take first blood, if you like. They won the first game, and then in the final game of the season, we've seen Elevate take that one, but Rated R took the Pro League season. But then we move over towards the Major, and Elevate had the better of Rated R twice. Of course, the first time round was very, very close, coming down to a final round. Second time round was that grand final where they pretty much swept through them. So I'm really curious. We've had so many different outcomes. We've had one-sided victories one way, we've had one-sided victories another, and then we've had close games one way, close games another. These two teams are really hard to separate at the moment, although I would just, on recency bias, give Elevate the edge.
Yeah, I mean, I was having a bit of a look through this as well, and it's so close between the teams, and every series is that close, right? But you've got to, if you look at the actual results, Rated R have only beat Elevate once in 2 quarters, right? And they didn't beat them in the Major. Like they're 1 for about 7 at this point in time, and 1 in 6, and quite honestly, you have to give it to Elevate for that fact alone.
Yeah, it's strange though. In my head, in my head, I'm sort of like, I feel like Rated R have always been close with them, but then I suppose that just sort of cements how close these matches must have been then in the fact that Elevate have won 6 of the last 7. So maybe I'm just an absolute idiot, who knows? But let's talk about Elevate first and foremost. And they were the major winners. They looked fantastic whilst at it as well. Now, Rated R sort of got their not unscathed. You know, there was a couple of matches where things looked a bit shaky from them, but not once did Elevate look shaky. That weekend, things were very much back to normal from their perspective. And this team just, I think, in a sense, frustrate me at times because we know how good they are. And then there's occasions where they maybe let things slip a little bit, maybe, you know, become complacent. But then they just find that other level that they can. And this team at this moment in time look very, very good.
Yeah, they do look very, very good. And, you know, you got to consider that they've now got a major under their belt as well. I mean, that was the one thing that was missing for them. Yes, it was the EU regional major, not the global major, but it's definitely a title that has, you know, they've not found so far, right? They've been looking for a long, long time. So I think with that confidence off the back of that major win, they should be, you know, our number 1 seed coming into this for sure. And I think for this matchup as well, they'll be looking to really put their mark on this Pro League early on. They don't want to lose that first game again.
Yeah, and when I spoke to Crimsons, he said, you know, we want to go flawless this time. We want to make sure that we solidify ourselves as that number 1 spot. And they'll be looking to kick things off very, very strongly. But a player that was just so good for these guys last season was Jack. I mean, how good was Jack, specifically in the Major as well? Fantastic for this team. So let's see if he can continue in that same vein of form. Moving on to Rated R, though. I was a little bit disappointed from their perspective on the major side of things. They pushed them very, very close in the winners bracket finals, but when it came down to the crunch, they didn't necessarily, I feel as if they didn't necessarily perform to the level that we know they're capable of.
No, I don't think so either. I think they really did kind of underperform. I think the winners bracket final was one of the best series I've ever seen, and the grand final was sadly not. It really was a little bit of an underperformance from them, and I think that will be something that's, you know, still strong in their memory, right? Still recent. It's something they'll want to kind of come back and prove us wrong on, because that wasn't their best game. They know that, we know that, and we know that they can take Elevate a lot closer. And yes, Elevate looked super strong in that finals, but it was also 3-0 because Rated R didn't play their game, and today they get the opportunity to upset Elevate in that first game again. They've done it 2 quarters out of the 3 so far. Chris, can they do it a 4th?
I wonder. And it just seems as if they come out the gates really quickly, doesn't it? You know, you got players like Pains and Dragons just causing continuous issues, getting very aggressive. And it seems to be when those two guys aren't finding those big numbers is when Rated R don't seem to find the wins against Elevate. Of course, I mean, it's all relative, isn't it? You know, you find kills, you're not going to find rounds, you're going to find wins. But if these two guys do perform, that's when Rated R look at their best. And if they can do that, we know the ever consistency of Marsh, Strikers, and Slayers and have their ups and downs, but I'm just intrigued to see how this one's going to go. As I said, the first games have mostly sort of went over towards Rated R. Can they do it again? Ultimately, though, it is Elevate who always come back swinging. So Rated R, if they can just remain consistent, they're going to be there with Elevate all the time. But it just seems as if that they can never be consistent against Elevate, and that's, maybe it's their downfall. But we're going to go into picks and bans in a second, which will give us a better idea. Now we can at least delve into these a little bit this time around, because Oxygen and No Mercy, it was quite difficult to do so. But now looking at these two teams, we know how they play each of these maps. We know what they like. Training Ground's gone, no surprises there. That often does come out. Vasgar then going from Elevate side of things, so Bunker coming in. District then for Rated R, which is always a very close map between these two. Exhibit coming last. I sort of like this for a last map. I think. I know Rated R could definitely go on to win District. District's always a close one. I don't know, but this sort of pays sort of tribute to how highly we rate this matchup, so to speak.
Yeah, this is pretty insane as a series, to be honest with you. From my point of view, at least, Bunker has been a map. Elevator picking it, sure, but Rated R have had fantastic success. Not that much against Elevate, but in general, they've had a lot of success on Bunker. They beat Reciprocity on it. They beat Estral on it, right? At Majors, they've looked fantastic on this map at times. So that's a scary one if you Elevate going into that. You must know you're very good at that if you're picking that straight into them.
Yeah.
District, that was a map that actually we saw in the last matchup of the Pro League, and that was a map that Rated R took, so I can see why they picked that one. Exhibit, though, as a decider, I would have thought that Elevate would have taken that to Asylum, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, Exhibit you would have thought actually it was on offer. Forth. Yeah. Did they not lose Asylum to them last time around they played?
They beat them in the finals, right? But I think they lost. Yeah. They lost 5-1 in the Pro League last time they played.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. Both these teams have not really had a consistency in terms of maps they beat each other on, I suppose, if my mind serves me correctly. Anyway, I mean, Exhibit was always used to be Elevate, then it used to be Rated R. Now, who bloody knows, to be honest with you, because we've seen that Elevate sort of bodied them on the final map of those grand finals.
Yep.
It's just so hard to predict, and that's how close these two teams can be at times. But it's often the case where if Rated R are going to come into this one, we can expect a very, very close game, of course. But if anyone's going to sweep this, it always sort of feels like Elevate are going to be the ones to do it convincingly. I don't know. I feel as if I'm sort of contradicting myself from what I said at the beginning of this show, or the beginning of this game, that, it's either close or one way. And it can go any sort of different direction with these two teams. But looking at those, it could honestly go in any direction. I have no clue. As somebody who's supposed to be helping the viewers at home decide who's going to win this game, I feel as if I'm doing a disservice to them, but it's just so close between these two. These maps do not help me. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm totally
you're looking there like, God damn it, where's Toby?
I'm sat there like, this is difficult, because I actually feel like if Rated R can take that first map and Bunker, which I feel like on paper they should be able to, they are a good Bunker team. This could be a 2-0 Rated R. That's kind of what I'm feeling right now.
Well, that's it, isn't it? But is it going to be? Probably not.
Everything that everything in my mind is saying, dude, it's Elevate. It's Elevate. They're gonna win this first map. They're gonna win that second map, and they're gonna look performant. And it's so difficult. But I have to go. I don't know whether I want to listen to my mind or my gut at this point. I think that's the difficulty I'm having right now.
I honestly, for me, it's like a coin toss at this point in terms of how we decide these two teams are going to play against each other. It's whoever turns up on the day, in all honesty, between these two when it comes to online competition. Have they faced each other on LAN this season? I don't think they have they?
No.
Over the whole... No, they haven't. That's something I would love to see, because, I said the last 7 times they played, Elevate have won 6 of it. Is that right? Elevate have won 6 of
I think it's 1 out of 6, not 1 out of 7.
6. Okay, right. So
yeah.
It's mostly been Elevate, but I would love to see these play on a full LAN setting. Maybe we'll get that sometime in the future, sometime soon, hopefully. But as things go online, Elevate have always had their number. If I was to pick a prediction, I'll go with Elevate. I think it's just so hard. And I feel like I'm making the same excuse again. It's hard when you see the map picks even. it makes the job harder because we just don't know which of these maps works well for each of these teams against each other because it's been so backwards and forwards. Either way, I'm excited again. What is undoubtedly going to be a very, very good game. Every single time these two have played outside of the grand finals of the major, typically, it's been very, very close. So let's get into it. Through who we're thinking. Come on, put it on the line.
If I was going to put money on it, I have to listen to my mind, and it has to be Elevate. And I'd have to say 2-1 at this point. I think it's been so close so many times. I'm just looking at the chat quick as well. That's split completely. People are rated R 2-0, rated R 2-1, Elevate 2-0, Elevate 2-1. It's all over the place, Chris. No one knows.
Nobody knows, so that makes me feel a lot better about it. But Bunker District and Exhibit is what's going to come up now. Guys, just let us know who you think is going to win this game. I already see plenty of predictions coming in. Everybody get them in and let us know which way you think this one's going to go. I can't sit on the fence. I'm going to go with Elevate as well.
No.
I think. Yeah, I'm going to say 2-1, and that was just I was coin flipping in my head, if anything.
Yep.
As we get into this one, Bunker District and Exhibit, rated R against Elevate, becoming a bit of a classic here in Europe, isn't it?
It is.
So often we've seen Elevate dominate opponents, and yes, okay, they've got the better of rated R for the most part, but it's always close. It's always very, very close, and it always comes down to these clutch moments that both these two teams come up with. And it makes for a very, very good matchup. And I don't want to say there's animosity between these two, but they both want to beat each other, don't they? They really, really both want to beat each other. And it just makes for a really good game. And I'm really excited to see how this season unfolds. What we say in chat right now, 2-1 is coming in from Dishner right now, getting close, but still not there. Yeah, it's sort of the same old story, isn't it? That they're close, but are they there on a consistent level? Not quite yet. Let's see if they can up those stats, though. The last 6 times, it's been Elevate. 5 times, can rated R, as said. Start bringing that maybe a little bit more towards their favor here in the first game of these two teams' summer quarter in the UGS Pro League. And let's get into it. It is going to be Bunker to kick things off, and okay, maybe not. We'll have to have a restart on this one, but it gives us more time to talk about how much we don't know who's going to win this game.
Very, very true. I'm trying to work out what's wrong for these guys right now.
I know.
All the players seem to be in. They seem to be in the right teams. We'll let them sort it out. I think back to your point though about these two teams wanting to win against each other. You're totally right. There is maybe a little bit of bad blood here and there, but quite honestly, most of that stems right from the competitive spirit that both these teams have, all these players have, right? They all want to be the best. They all want to win, and they all have that that inner drive to push themselves there, and they've got the skill to back it up as well, right? They've got the work ethic, they've got the skill. At this point, it really is, who is reading the other team better, right? Who is understanding the other team better, and that kind of comes in from that kind of coach role as well, right? That this is where a coach starts to kind of take that step and really come into their own. Yes, coaches, sure, they can help with your practice, get yourselves, set up on your initials and like that. But when it really gets to, the nitty gritty, being able to understand an opponent and predict an opponent is such a useful tool in these matchups that realistically the players can do all they want. But if one team really just has a number of the strategy that the other team's going to go for and has a counter to it ready to go, you're playing 5v6 at that point.
It'd be interesting to get Rubik's on one day. I don't know what time it is. Oh no, he's not in Korea anymore, is he? I want to say he's
flying about the place. I think he's off back to America at some point.
He's a jet set. He's in Hawaii now, is he? Oh my god, must be nice, like all the way over to Hawaii. We'll get him in. That's quite the time difference, though. I'm not going to lie to you. It's quite far. It's Hawaii. I want to say it's like 10, 12 hours. Something like that. Either way, it's going to be a struggle to get him on. It'll be quite early in the morning. Maybe one day. He's committed to the Gears cause, so maybe we'll get him on and he can explain some of the picks that come out of Elevate. But here we go. Second time's the charm. Is that the same? Into it we go. It is going to be Bunker. It is going to be rated R against Elevate. And I'm just hoping for a good game. Let's see if these two teams can continue to clash the same way as they have done over the past whole season, to be honest with you. The whole first season between these two has been back and forth. It's mostly been Elevate coming out on top, but it's always been close games as we get into Bunker, though. It is going to be Elevate grabbing hold of B. They will get that first midpoint locked in. Pains is in a bad spot potentially, but he's a player who's just continued to grow in this team, hasn't he?
Yep,
becoming
him and
a big prospect in Europe.
Slazen has been fantastic as well for this Rated R team. I think as well, we got to call out Dragons. That man there has been MVP more times than I count, has had eliminations basically falling out of his ears at some point. He's just looked so good. Rated R as a whole, to be fair, across the board, they're just a strong team, aren't they? There's no real weak link. I don't look at any player and go, you know what, I'd trade that person out.
Yeah,
because
I know.
I don't know who I'd choose.
Yeah, exactly. They all do their job. They all step up when they need to. Of course, there is the certain players who are more there or thereabouts at the top for the most part, but everybody really pitches in. Right now, though, they're trying to keep a hold of B. It has come through this push from Elevate, trying not to chase this too much. Dragons, he's not going to get dropped. He will get out with his life. But the pressure's coming in here from Elevate. Is it going to be answered in turn by Rated R? Yes, it is. Pains goes forwards, finds one, finds two. Can he find the third as well with the help of his teammates? Crimson's going to go down. It's a nice hold by Rated R. They'll lock B in. They have their sights on A as well.
They will have their sights on A, but they've got to double back at this point. Actually, I would leave the A hill, and I'd back off and defend your C hill. Play for that double cap for just a second. You're going to catch up in points soon, so Craze, Jackfex, they're in a bad spot. The last thing you want to do is let them get back, out from inside that trap and come and, collapse on your own team members over by that A hill. Yep, the decaps come in. Still, though, it's taken a long time for these players to fall. Dragon's going to fall as well to Crimson's. That's not particularly ideal, but at this point, it's a 4v3. What can they do? Elevate pushing up top. Pains will go down for a second, but the revive will come through. And Rated R, they do extract themselves.
But then, if you look at it from Elevate's side of things, they nearly lose it on a domination, but then still only find themselves around 40 points behind. They just do that so well, just to have players playing on the island, on the top of the bunker here, find themselves in a position just to rotate and cause problems. Yes, okay, they don't really get too much for it. They didn't manage to get a hold of C, but they've detracted those resources away from Rated R, able to overextend and finish the round. So, well played by Elevate. It is still Rated R with that win condition, though, and it's ticking in around 20 seconds or so. Marsh with some good Lancer fire. Jackfex is going to be shut down very quickly. They are going to lose B here, but a one cap probably will do it for Rated R by the looks of things. And they're happy to sit on that. We can see, though, they're sitting quite far up, not allowing Elevate an easy route through. The kills are starting to come just about in Rated R's favor as one down comes in. And MVP Phelps, he's going to have to find an MVP-like performance to try and find his way through here, but Pains and Slazen are now down 20 seconds to that win condition. Elevate are taking the kills in, but Dragons is going to be able to find one to answer. B is in nobody's hands here. This should be a Rated R round as the kills start to flow for them, but it got a little bit squeaky there for them. But ultimately, Rated R will take a deserved round number one.
They will indeed. That really was a deserved round number one. I liked their priorities there. They found the kills that they needed. They got the decap. They didn't overextend too much. And quite honestly, they found a way to defend against that Elevate, the last second push. Elevate, they've been so good, haven't they, over the quarters at just making sure that they can play right up to the wire. This time around, Rated R, they gave them absolutely nothing to play with. Marsh with some fantastic Lancer fire as well to shut down Jack on the opening play. On that closing play. Was basically the start of the end there for Elevate. Fantastic play by Rated R, and that's the first notch, isn't it, on the wall, essentially. First peg in the board for Rated R in what will be a long slog.
Very nicely done. And Elevate honestly played that well. They were behind for most of the round and really kept it within touching distance all the way until a final flurry of a couple of kills came through for Rated R. Can they do it again, though? It was a long, drawn-out round. That's the thing with these two. It's never just plain and simple, is it?
Nope.
Apart from that grand final in the major, of course. Because why would it be any other way? They give us close games the whole season, and then the finals just a bit of a snooze fest. But we'll maybe not blame them for that. A really good performance for Elevate in the grand finals. But Rated R with another good start here, trying to get a hold of B Strikers. He's going to get caught. Yes, he is. And well held by Elevate here. They just sit back, Lancer fire in, and they will get B as their reward.
They will indeed. That lock will come in just a second, and the point lead is starting to tick up already as Rated R, they're going to collect their home hill off the spawn here, so a bit of a delay in their push. It doesn't mean that they get to that middle further faster, but in the end, Pains finds that nice kill on Jack. Craze playing it nice and slow here. Just get that down, just get that kill. Pains falls, Marsh falls here. And this is a good position to be in if you Elevate. You can start to gain this map control, start to push up a little bit here. They know Dragons is underneath that cave here, and Slazen will try and support as he does back out. Dragons does back out. Rated R, they need to wait for all their players, really. They need to make a formulated push here. They can't be fighting scrappy, not in a numbers disadvantage against one of the best team fighting teams in Europe, in the world, in fact.
Push not going to come in here from Rated R. Well, backed off by Elevate, though. The numbers were very much on Rated R's side, but they haven't backed up enough. Has to be said, Jack should go down here, and Pains will just about save his teammates. So, Rated R get what they came for and a little bit more as well. Now, I'm going to get a hold of B, but look at it. It's being decapped now by one player, and that's going to be Hydro on the overextension, and he's going to be coming in here for a flank as well. He plays this so well on this map. How often do we see Hydro being a nuisance? That's all he needs to do, and it's just going to slow down this push from Rated R, who currently are not getting any points on the board. It's a swarm win condition, and Hydro's played that so well. He doesn't need to find the kill or anything. Stays alive. Gets a whole decaps A, I should say. It just backs on down, is there to help his team. Really good plays out of Hydro, and if not the flashiest, important is what it was.
Oh, absolutely. It was so well crafted. Beautiful play. You see Crazed up at the top there, and Bunker just probably directing it all right, saying you've got room to come through this route. You've got space, you've got time. His teammates as well, in that chokehold, just backing off, wasting time from Rated R, allowing Hydro to come in and find that decap. And sometimes, you know, you would actually see a lot of teams just go for the kills in that situation, right? Oh, we've got them cornered in the bunker, let's play for the kills. But Hydro, he knows better. He knows it's about the points at the end of the day, especially in a situation where, you know, you've got your teammate Jack there on 0. You don't want to be fighting too much.
Jack is actually going to go down here as well, so it is momentarily going to be a 4v5. Maybe hope for Rated R here. Oh, I'll tell you what, everything's been decapped. If you are Elevate, tough situation to be in. You are going to get a hold of B, though, and they need to win this next couple of flurry of gunfights. Phelpsy is going to manage to get a hold of C, though, as well. This should lock it in. Though the rest of his team struggling to keep a hold of B. They will keep a hold of B, though. They will lock this one in, and surely that will be the round over to Elevate. Very, very well played. A little bit close towards the end. 3 minutes and 23 seconds is how long it took. But one apiece. Elevate deserved that round. Very well played.
Very, very well played. A little bit uncharacteristic from Jackfex, by the way. Going down to 0 lives and actually getting eliminated as early as the second round. He's usually a player that has, you know, 4 lives at all times, is very, very careful with what he's doing, and has some fantastic performances under his belt. So to see him out of the game this early on, that's a little bit surprising. We should keep an eye on that one as we go into this third, because he's only going to have the 1 life really to play with. Incendiary's on one side. Let's see what Payne's replies with. Probably going to start building up her barracks loadout, or perhaps even going for the utility, as they now have a second set of extra flashbangs here. And this is all about that initial, right? It's all about getting into that fight as soon as possible, as quick as possible.
Back into it again. It's been very close from the rip, to be honest with you. Neither team has asserted any dominance, really, off the initial. Pains, though. Using that utility to help get there that little bit faster, but the incend comes in from Elevator, will zone them away, if anything. I'd like to maybe pick up a kill there, but speaking of kills being picked up, Strikers is going to find Hydron. Now can Elevate slay out? Can they keep a hold of this? What they have tried to get a hold of straight off the rip, it's not going to happen. Rated off Flurry. And they just exhaust Elevate's resources over towards B. Yes, okay, they got a lot of control up top bunker, which has just been shown with Dragons and Marsh going on down, but Rated R are going to get the prize of B, and we'll keep a hold of that off the initial.
They will get the prize, but we've got to worry a little bit about Marsh falling up top there. That allows pretty much a full route through for Elevate. And Rated R, they're lucky that they had a couple of people off spawn there, actually. If they'd won that fight down at B cleanly, they would have lost their home hill as well. So it's a little bit unfortunate for Elevate that they got the kill in the wrong place. But right about now, 2 hills in their name. They ain't going to be complaining too much about that. They've got a defense to worry about in just a second. Dragons will go full red here. Looks around the right-hand corner, and what he's doing there is just getting as much of his body around that corner of the cover as he possibly can to, you know, lower the surface area, essentially, that is available to shoot. Do it on quite a lot of covers. The little covers on the home hills on Asylum is another cover where you can do that. Good shot by Phelpsy there. Revives comes in as well, and yeah, this is looking good. Looking good for Elevate.
Yeah, looking very, very nice. Marsh on 0 respawns as well, but Jack is teetering on the edge also, as is Phelpsy. So a couple of big gunfights coming up very, very shortly. It is Elevate in control, though, so they're not the ones that have to make the move. Slazen Pushing forward, looking for shots into Jack. He is going to get the down there, and you can imagine he's probably going to try and chase this kill. Can he find a second as well? He's going to go for the shot onto Jack. Can't quite clean it up, but the revive chain keeps on coming. Strikers is going to take down Crimson's. Jack is still here. Big gunfight in the grand scheme of things for this round as Marsh finds kill onto Crazed as well. Jack's just about surviving, but trying to be aggressive as well. Marsh is going to come in there and will clean it up as Jack has been down too many times, and he's out of this round in one more death. That's him down to 0, though. Has to be very, very careful. Marsh, I said, won an important gunfight himself when he was on 0 respawns. A big flurry of kills. It's Rated R who come out on top.
It is indeed. They're going to start to tip this over. As you can see, that points now. 180 apiece. This last fight is really going to determine it. If you're Rated R, you need to just make this as long as possible. Really put the pressure on Elevate here. Don't let them come up and take this B cap from underneath you. Hydra are going to push forward. Who have they found? They found Strikers. Is Strikers able to clean one? He is. He gets traded out, though, so 4v4 situation now, and Pains flies in, and oh, that's not what you wanted, really, is it? Pains is going to fall now. 3v4 situation for the time being, but the respawns aren't too long at this point. Phelps is trying to make work here as he gets the up A on Slazen, and now they're starting to push forward for this C hill.
They should surely be able to get a hold of this decap, and that's all they're going to need. 13 seconds, but Rated R are here, and they're here in numbers. They only need 4 more points to their name. They win that second round of gunfights and will win their second round of the map. That's 2-1 now. Rated R looking solid here. Just about holding on, but Elevate very much in these rounds. It could be 3-0 either way at this point, couldn't it? They have been very, very close. Looking at the slaying aspect of things, once again, very, very close as we go into the final round of the half. Those lives will reset. But exactly what we sort of advertised so far, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very much
being
being
a
close
At least
one.
we got one thing right. It's a close game for sure. We'll worry about the scoreline when we get to the end of it. But at the moment, yeah, exactly as what we predicted. We said, you know, Rated R, they're a very, very strong bunker team. Drop shot going down will definitely looks like a set play at least. Is that a Rated R pick as well?
Yep, it is a Rated R pick.
Interesting to see that, because that's not a weapon placed out of desperation, is it? That's a weapon placed out of something's coming, something's planned, and that's really good to see, to be quite honest with you, from Rated R. That's the sort of adaptation that we were talking about in the previous game.
Let's see if they can find this drop shot. Kills coming in. He will be crazed, of course, with that drop shot anyway. Let's see if he can do something with it. Strikers and Co start to slay out. Elevate are the ones that come away just about with the prize. A and B going over towards Rated R here. By the looks of things, Strikers have been taken down there, so a good start to the round here from Elevate.
Very good start. Kills going in the right area. They've got that drop shot in hand. They've got Marsh down to 0 again as well, and that's really important, especially with this drop shot. If they can find a pick onto Marsh, and you bet they'll be looking for him, then they should have a pretty easy round ahead of them. And the sooner they do that, the easier it becomes, right? You have that 5v4 situation for longer and longer and longer. Marsh, he's hidden right back. He ain't going to pop up really until he really is needed at this point. Got to be so careful. Phelpsy bang opposite him with that drop shot.
In a good spot here, Elevate. Plenty of time in the round, though. Dragons is going to go on there. Should be dead. Oh, God. That's unfortunate. I don't think he would have got away, but Dragons, somewhat the sacrificial lamb there.
Yep. Absolutely so. And actually, Phelpsy, if they can get the spot on Marsh here, they will know where he is, and they're going to fly at him. See Hydrone, he's already going. Drop shot's going to come through that window in just a second. Marsh will have to back off. He's going to have to fight the 1v, or he's going to have to get drop shot. It's his choice at this point. He's going to go for the 1v. Hydrone is in front of him. Hydrone's got some good damage down. Revive's going to come through here from Dragons, but Dragons also on 0. Has to be so careful. Same with Pains too. 4 members actually on the board for 0 lives here for Rated R, and Phelpsy, he's got the pick of the litter at this point. Who does he want?
Sends it high. It doesn't find anything, though. Phelpsy maybe a little bit trying to be too flashy with that one. I would have liked to see him maybe back on down and just pick them apart as the push now comes on through, which is what Rated R are going to try and get a hold of. But the kills are coming in the opposite direction. It's now going to be Slazen on 0 respawns as well. Rated R are playing execution at this point. Strikers is going to go down. Dragons is down on the floor as well. He hasn't been cleaned up, but it is momentarily a 4v5. Elevate looking to get back into this one. They should be able to tie it up here. But Rated R, we've seen them pull these sort of rounds off before when the chips are down. But however, Craze grabbing a hold of that drop shot is going to be killed though, so they will get a hold of that.
Yep.
It's not over yet.
Especially with Dragons getting that kill as well. It's a 4v4 situation for the time being, for a few seconds here. Craze is going to be back off spawn. Pains will get taken out though. He's out now. 5v3 situation. Not sure they're going to be able to do much about this one, Chris. This is pretty much it. The Swarm, they look towards the 10-second here. They look to tie it up at the half. Marsh will fall. And that's pretty much the hopes of Rated R for this round. Going to go out. You can see, actually, they're just going to dance around a little bit and just say, all right, let's move on to the second half. Let's see where this goes, because one team will have to come out the victor as we go into that round 5, right? And from there on in, we will see a team in the lead. And one team will come out at the end with one map under their name.
Very nicely done by Elevate. I think Rated R, if they win that gunfight up top against Jack, then maybe something can get going, but the fact that Pains then goes down puts them in an even tougher spot. Loadout's going to come in on the side of Elevate. Rated R probably going to choose to get something going on one side. Yep, Windmill is where they're going. Smoke grenades are going to be placed there, and will of course be upgraded to something a little bit more beneficial as we do go into the second half. Now, of course, the points have changed around. E now, the middle hill going up towards top bunker instead of down low. And the two home hills just moving over ever so slightly. But this fight up top bunker is always entertaining, especially when there's a drop shot on offer as well as E. Again's trying to bait something in here, but his flashes will go out. Phelpsy trying to be aggressive down the left-hand side. It's worked out for him as Strikers and Marsh do drop down. Strikers full killed, and Marsh will live to fight another day if his teammates can get them up. But right now, the kills are coming in the favor of Crazed and of Elevate. Dragons is able to answer back with one, but he may go down himself. A really, really good start to the round from Elevate. They will get a hold of E. They'll get a hold of that drop shot and put it in Crazed hands too. A dangerous, dangerous spot if you're Rated R. Elevate looking to go 3-2 up here for it.
They are indeed. I mean, I think at this point, you've got to make sure these next fights are clean, because we saw Rated R, they were down on, next to no lives after just a couple of rounds, 3 rounds. I think this time around, going into this, you got to treat this second half a little bit more carefully. You can't just keep dying to this drop shot. You can't just keep dying to this lovely setup of Elevate, and you can't just keep falling into these traps. You can see how far Elevate are sitting back, because they know they've got the tools to deal with a push. They know that if someone goes to decap that E hill, they can kill them. They will kill them, and they're set up to achieve exactly that.
Stop seeing code now. Set up here. It's going to be hard to break this, especially with this drop shot in. The Boltok now doing damage too. He can get this reloaded. He's got his pick. Rated R, crucially, didn't get a hold of E though, so they can't escape. They need to get something.
Well, if you just look at the minimap for a second as well, there is a completely open top side of the map there, artillery side of the map. Hydrone has the opportunity to fight a 1v, has the opportunity to fly through and get that F hill. And you bet if Rated R put too many numbers towards that cave, that'll be his first move. Drop shot going to come out once again, does bounce it off the wall, and that's going to be a mistake.
Yep, fluffed it. Obviously now in a bad spot. Drop shot isn't used well either, but can he redeem himself here? Will find the kill on the Marsh, but with the help of Strikers, but slays and finds 2 on the backside of that fight. So Rated R do well to get back into this one, and suddenly the win condition is with them. Hydron though finds 1, finds 2. Really good player by Hydron, just hiding here. No one Rated R are going to make that push, and he shuts it down ever so quickly. Just so well played. He's going to find the third as well. Hydron, the clutch factor is just there in abundance. He's now going to push on forward. Dragons will get a hold of this drop shot, but Elevate need to do something. Hydron trying to get something done, trying to distract, trying to be that nuisance that he often is. But on top of that, he finds 18 kills, 8 assists with only 7 deaths. He's having a cracking game through.
Looking for more as well as Strikers is flying at him. Will get taken down in the end. Boltok peering down from above. You can see Rated R, they're going to go towards that home hill, but that is not where Elevate are defending. They're defending this mid. They don't need that D hill, they need the E hill, and that's all they need for a few seconds more. There is absolutely nobody from Rated R in the position to break this one, and Elevate will lock in a 3rd round.
Nicely done. And honestly, I think if Hydron doesn't find those 2, then 3 kills over towards D, that's a very, very different round. Nicely done, sitting at the top of the leaderboard. Always making the smart plays as well. Just a Hydron loving at the minute. I can't help it. Anyway, I'm going to choose to do anything different here. Sorry, mate. I just get passionate about these things sometimes.
Good. I'd like to hear it. I think, actually, you know what? I was going to give him a little bit of stick, to be honest with you, Hydron.
Really? What for?
Just not not after that play, but before that play. I knew he was going to go back for those incens and make a play with him, but I kind of felt he went a little bit too soon. But in the end, made a fantastic play anyway, right? Even against the ropes, comes out and gets that 3-piece. So I'm gonna shut up on that one and let it be for a second.
We're back into it. Both teams playing this one a little bit slower than we've seen in the previous round. So that is a big push comes in. An Incend coming over from Rated R as well, finds absolutely nothing, so Elevate will be happy with that outcome. They still have a hold of theirs, that's the question. Shot's going to go in, though. Pains is going to get a hold of it, get dropped, but there you go, there's the Incend, he comes in. And that drop shot will still have one bullet in the chamber, so to speak, and Striker's going to have to try and get out. Dragons not really helping his route away here, and this kill starting to flow in for Elevate, who just are picking apart Rated R in the middle of the map here. Nicely done. 3 members go down, and suddenly it's an Elevate-controlled round. And I do believe they have a hold of the drop shot with 1 left in it. It's a good spot to be in if you're an Elevate fan, and oh god, Strikers is just going to get turned a bit. Can Hydron keep it on going as well? Crazed and Co just trying to collapse over towards D here. They're trying to put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, this is it, right? This is the push that they need to make. Pains will go down for a second. Should get taken out by Phelpsy, actually, as Phelpsy is in another 1v1. Crazed finds that flank, and that's a beautiful little play there. That's an even better one as he turns round on Dragons, hits the full chunk. From here, this should be a pretty easy closeout if they can get these kills early on. They should be okay. Crazed with that angle as well on Slazen. Should be able to find this one.
Good shots coming in. Eventually, the elimination about to tick in forward to Elevate. They just seem to find another level, don't they? It's so close, and then all of a sudden, it's 3 rounds in a row out of Elevate. Forward to now. Look at Hydron in at the top there. 20 kills, 11 assists on top of 9 deaths. Having a very, very good game, but nobody really on Elevate performing poorly. Jackflex at the bottom is maybe a little bit of a surprise, but it's not the initials that they're really winning off here, Elevate. It's just every other part of the round.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Someone's got to be in there first. Someone, they have to take the brunt of the damage coming their way. And yeah, today it's Jackflex, but we've seen him have his day, right? It's not like it's unusual to see Jack at the top, so I think we're giving the benefit of the doubt this time around.
Into it again. Rated R will need 3 perfect rounds in a row to find this map. So it's an Elevate pick, though. Bear that in mind, but Rated R, as we said at the beginning, have had success on this map, so to speak, and they are actually going to get a hold of that drop shot for the first time. Strikers is going to defend Marsh with that ever so powerful weapon. And they will find the kills off the back of that as well. They get a hold of their home hill, they get a hold of E, they get the drop shot. So it all just combines into one, doesn't it? Hydron trying to come around behind again. Is going to be shut down after finding Dragons, though. But Rated R in control of this round, no doubt. Strikers
no doubt. Yeah, I was just looking at that. I wasn't sure if it was my connection or Strikers, but he was teleporting around a little bit. Not looking fantastic. Hopefully he can sort that one out, and that might be why they stopped making that push across there. In the end, Elevate, they're going to back off as well. They're going to start to rotate around a little bit here, as you can see them on that mini-map, making their way around towards that E-hill, trying to fight through cave a little bit here as they walk up the right-hand side as well.
Just waiting for the push here, Rated R. Looks like it's going to come in towards E. Is Marsh in a position to help out here? Strikers clearly not lagging anymore. He's flying around. Marsh is going to find the kills, but this time round it is going to be with an Asher. Slazen is there to try and help him out, but he will go down. Marsh now trying to run for the hills, has Pains alongside him, will find a kill into Phelpsy with that drop shot at the same time. He has been decapped, but Elevate not quite getting the prize that they wanted. Rated R will defend well, but Crimson's still here, still loitering around. Crazed Inco, though, trying to look towards F potentially, but Rated R holding on very, very well here. Surely they'll get a hold of E in a second. They have control over towards Bunker. They're finding the kills too. Marsh is going to get dropped, but Rated R just about get the better of that exchange.
Just about. There's a lone pistol bullet coming in at the end there just to take Marsh down, but I think the difference that I'm seeing right now, honestly, is Rated R just not quite as clinical when they're, finding these last kills in the fights. Sometimes they're losing a player, or someone's going down right at the tail end of a fight, and if you can stop that and you can come back into these fights with an extra person and in that defensive state, that's so important, especially against the likes of Elevate.
Things is going to go down here. Elevate need to start moving very, very quickly. Dragons is going to get a hold of the second drop shot, though, but Crimson's is there to fight back. Did that get backpack, though? Is that available on the floor? It doesn't look like it is, so something that Elevate would have really liked to get a hold of to try and get back into this round is not available to them. They are going to get a hold of E, and Rated R are going to turtle up towards F. 20 seconds for this push to come through. I don't think Elevate got a hold of anything, as the push now starts to fly in. Crims is going to find one, but he is going to get taken down. Jackfex is going to find the kill on the Dragons, though. 3 seconds. The decap comes in. The domination ticks up as well. Pain's just trying his best to stay alive. Elevate jump off while they're trying to solidify this kill, but Marsh is there to try and lock this one in. It's doable for Elevate here. But look at the other side of the map. D is where it's going on as well. Elevate have won that fight too, but which way is F going to go? Crazed is going to have to go massive. Going to find one, going to find the second with the help of his teammate, as well as this swarm win condition coming in. Looking towards E, though. Rated R should be able to lock in this mid-hill. There's one player over towards there. Dragons is going to lock it in. Is it going to be in time? I don't know if it was. It was just about. Rated R make things difficult. Elevate nearly get back into it, but 3 minutes and 40 seconds produces a Rated R round. He must have just locked that in time.
Yeah, second either way. And I thought they'd made the mistake when Slazin decided to fight. He was fighting between the lookout and the artillery for a good 15 seconds or so. And he could have just backed out and rotated to E and got the decap and made that a much easier round for Rated R. So actually that was a bit of a round of Rated R's doing there, but in the end, Dragons going massive, making the right play. He knew he had the timing to get there, and as you said, comes in clutch with a second to go.
Couple more rounds needed for Rated R, though. Elevate could have won that one, and they will be kicking themselves, but a close one can maybe swing the momentum. Jack and Co just waiting for the push to come in here from Rated R, and the Lancer Fire is always very, very good, Elevate, so maybe they're the ones who can sit back, allow Rated R to be the aggressors, but Rated R put a lot of resource in here up top bunker. They will get a hold of drop. Jack's not in a good spot. Can't really make this push either, as Strikers is there to protect Pain's too much cover. And he will get taken down. There you go. Elevate got caught napping a little bit there, and it's an easy take for Rated R.
It is indeed. And Rated R, they are not content with stopping there. They're going to try and find some more kills here. They are going to get Crazed on the backside of that bunker. But Crazed has done enough, actually. We're on these late rounds now. That means the respawns are actually really quite quick. So the teams are back on at them. And actually, it's a nice little extraction there by Marsh, getting Strikers out of trouble. Marsh, though, finds trouble on the other side of things. Oh, and that's another pistol coming in from Hydra, and that's beautiful. Really, really nice play. Elevate, they looked in a bad situation, but now they've got full control up top. They'll have this E-hill. They'll cap that one up. It looks like they're going to try and find a kill on Pains too.
Find one on Marsh there suddenly in a 5v4 for the round. Pains is going to get taken down, though. So what's the plan for Slazin and Co here?
Defense is what I'd be chanting right now if this was a basketball game.
Ooh, they're going to have to make the push somewhere, though. Swarm win condition ticks up. Marsh in a bad spot. Does have Dragons there for the revive if he needs it, which he will. He's going to keep continuously getting dropped, though. That's twice now. He'll be done and dusted if he goes down again.
Oh, death from above. No. Down.
Obviously missing the shots there, but Marsh is going to find the down himself and continue on rolling. They really have been looking for this Elevate, but Rated R just about holding on here. Rated R do have a lead, so if they can flip this and get a hold of one of these hills, then suddenly they're in business, but Elevate are holding well so far. The push in towards E comes, and Elevate have maybe being caught napping once again over towards this top bunker side, as this is a little bit easy for Strikers, although I say that as the reinforcements do now start to come on in. Of course, drop shot will be coming up again very, very shortly. Marsh just trying to do his job as that supportive Lancer. Can't push forward on 0 respawns.
Cannot at all. Has to sit so far back here. Has to be so careful. Incense get picked up by Phelpsy as well, and that's huge because he's going to rotate those round here just in time for this drop shot fight. It would seem, as you can see his teammates, they're starting to open up on the other side of things. Phelpsy will walk those over, and we'll try and find the
there it goes.
shot from beyond.
Oh, can't find the kill, but he will find enough damage, and Strikers will eventually go down. And there we go, drop shot into the hands of Elevate. It's a swan win condition as well. Rated-R in a horrible spot here. Dragons has made this push though. Elevate are still going to have to play here. It's not an easy one to close on. Outmarsh is out. But it's not done and dusted yet. Right now, Elevate are not getting any points, but the kills start to fly on through. This should be them. Phelpsy finds Dragons. He will get a hold of F. He will get a hold of their home hill. That's 2 about to tick in there. The win condition of 5 seconds. Another kill coming in from Crazed. Water is wet. Elevate coming on through with another good start, 5-3. And we'll get map number 1 under their belts. But wasn't playing in simple, but ever since that drop shot comes in, Elevate just really started going to town on Rated-R. It's 5-3 now.
Yeah, that was really nicely played actually by Elevate at the end there. They sent the numbers in the perfect direction. They had someone defending that home hill. They had full control over the hills that they needed to, and they just split their resources nicely. Good, solid win there from Elevate, and exactly how they'd want to open off that summer quarter.
Yeah, and you know, it's they just played it pretty clinically. In fairness, you know, on Bunker, so often we do see Hydron sort of playing in around behind, playing on that island. He did a lot of good work in the early rounds in that respect, and then from there just played well with the resources that they had. You know, that Incend comes in over towards the drop shot, ultimately stops Rated-R getting a hold of it in that final round, but they just played that very, very well. It was their pick, 5-3, a respectable scoreline, not necessarily comfortable, but a good win for Elevate either way before we head over towards District. Rated-R, I think they'll be disappointed in that. Do you think they could have maybe done a little bit better on that one?
I think they threw away that last round of the first half, to be honest with you. I think that could have been better. They lost a lot of lives early on in the first side of things, and that really, didn't help things out there. They could have had a very, strong 3-1 start, realistically. So, I'd be looking at that a little bit. And also, the drop shot placement. They just didn't seem to get a lot from it. And it was their placement, right? They sacrificed a placement on their side, whether that be a utility or whether that be, a home hill kind of weapon spawn. And they went for that huge big drop shot in the middle, straight on the half. And did they get much from it? I don't really know. I don't think it really worked out for them.
No, they didn't. It was their pick, and I don't want to say that was just necessarily the reason that the round started going Elevate's way, but I mean, if you're going to pick up on it, it definitely did swing towards them when that drop shot came through, irrelevant of how much it actually affected the game. It just seems as if it didn't work out for Rated-R. But we move over towards District, a clean slate for them. They now need to win 2 in a row, which is not out of the question. District typically is a very, very close map between these two. Exhibit is one that has went backwards and forwards between them as well. This one is definitely not over, but a very, very good map number 1. Close rounds they were. I mean, a couple of them could have went either way. It could be a very different scoreline. So I think they'll take some positivity going into the second map here. It's a very, very different kind of map, isn't it, District? It's more about, front-facing, seeing what you can do, or maybe try and hold those home hills. We'll see some big drops going in towards Bandstand and Cinema, or maybe not after what Rated-R seen in that map, of course, after they dropped that drop shot in. So an interesting one, at least, to see which way it is going to go. But Elevate will be happy with that map number 1. Some really good players, some good individual players as well. But Rated-R, do you think they turn this one around through? Are we hopeful for them on District?
Oh, I wouldn't count them out. District is a map that they've been good at, to be quite honest with you, for a long time now. They pick it often. They are strong on it. They like the fights on it. They are good at controlling the map once they've got a lead. I wouldn't count them out for sure. It's whether or not they can best Elevate. And from what I've seen so far, the only difference between these two teams at this moment in time are twofold, right? First is the kills, the deaths, right? We did see Marsh hitting 0 pretty early on in both halves of that first map, and that is a little bit of a worrying sign for me. And you got to be
usually Mr. Consistent,
careful.
Isn't he?
Yeah, and I think as well, like Payne's, he also hit 0, and in the end, there was just too many people, playing execution style gears, and you can't really do that on escalation, not consistently, and not against a team like Elevate. So that's point 1, right? Point 2 for me would be just the quickness, the cleanliness of their play at this point in time. Elevate, when they're finding someone, who's a lone ranger, they're out on their own and they need cleaning up, they're doing it very, very quickly and efficiently. And, you know, sometimes it's just 1-2 people that do that, but they find the damage, they get the kill, and they're set back up and they're ready. Rated R, on the other hand, there was a few situations, I saw it around top bunker a couple of times, where they're trying to play a bit too quick for themselves, and they're not doing fundamental things like checking your corner as you're going around it. And, you know, they're getting caught out in these situations where realistically they should be the ones cleaning up. In the end, they're trading 1-for-1, and that's a real big issue. So, two-step process: stop Marsh dying, make sure you're checking your corners and being a little bit cleaner with your gameplay and your cleanup. You got a better shot at District.
Well, we're going to head into District now, and it is going to be an Elevate with a map 1 win. I said if Rated R can maybe fix a couple of these little mistakes here and there, then they should be able to take a map, at least, you would think. It's always, as I said, very, very close on this one. It was an absolute cracker in the winners bracket final. I was very, very jealous that you and Toby got to commentate that one. I'm not going to lie, when I was watching it. In the end, was just insane. One of the best maps we've seen in U-Gears in quite some time. But now we head over towards that map once again. Are we going to get another classic, or are Elevate going to make this a 2-0 and put our predictions of a very close game to bed? There were close rounds in map number 1, so expect very much the same here on District. A little bit more fast and frantic. Suits Rated R a little bit more, and it is their map pick. Last time around, though, this did go over towards Elevate in a 5-4 fashion in the winners bracket final. So which way will it go this time around? We're ready to get into it. Excited to see District once again. Exhibit is what we're going to go to if we need to. Are we thinking we're going there through? I think we will.
I'd like to think it, but I
think we will.
Judging by how that went, no, I don't think so. I think Elevate clean this 1-2.
I'm throwing a curveball for him. I'm throwing a curveball.
Yeah, I'm not catching that one. I'm letting that one sail by. I honestly think it might be an Elevate 2-0 at this point. They look better in that first map.
All right. Well, it would be boring if we both agreed with each other, wouldn't it?
It would.
I sometimes like to just be awkward. Pains deletes Phelpsy. He's going to find a second one at Hydron. Not quite. Hydron finding 2 in the middle. Big kills. Nope. That's not going to help, though. Did he just stop there? Wasn't quite sure what was going on, but either way, the kill's starting to come in towards Elevate. Dragon's Court are able to answer back momentarily, though, and they will get a hold of B. A pretty even trade to kick things off by the looks of things.
Pretty even. Rated R getting hold of that B hill will start that point ticking up first, and they are actually the quickest team as well to their home hill, so that's going to be a nice little point buffer there for them, of 25 points or so, and will start to tick away. Obviously, a point per second per ring is what they're going to be capturing at this point in time, and things are just going to slow back down. And looking at that minimap, we can see where the push is going to be. It's going to be on the C hill. Elevate trying to make their way through there. Jump over to that side of things to see Crazed fall down here. Cleanup's going to come through as well. It's Pains. He's going to push forward just enough to push Elevate back towards that bandstand, back out towards their own home hill.
It's not too bad of a spot to be in, though. If you can get a couple of kills and push over towards C, you're in a decent spot. They're defending over towards B. It's a big overextension towards the home hill if you're Rated R. The wraparound is not short. But Elevate in a good position to do something here. We can see they've got a lot of real estate, if you like. They've got a lot of map control. Rated R sitting back. So the Lancer Fire is going to have to be very, very strong, but that win condition will keep on ticking down if you're Rated R. Elevate quite far behind at this moment in time. We'll need to get a hold of another hill pretty sharpish. See, Flash is now starting to go in towards the blue side of the map, and this is where the push is now going to start coming in. If you're Elevate, they are going to decap B. The win condition is still there on a 1-cap for Rated R, of course, with that lead. Rated R going to bite back, though. Hydron is going to go down, but these next gunfights are so important. Phelpsy now going to drop as well, and the kill will be cleaned up. Crazed and Jack Bexto starting to answer back. Jack's going to find 2 all alone. Nicely done by Elevate. Still in this round, but that points difference is rather large, isn't it, for...
It is indeed, and especially with this home hill play coming out as well, we can see that Pains, he won the 1v down at that bottom side against Crimsons, and that's a really nice play. Crimsons usually Mr. Consistent on that home hill streak, but if he loses that 1v in that situation, it doesn't matter. All the good plays in the world at B hill ain't going to save Elevate at this point. Raze gets a nice down there, but Swarm, they're going to win in 10 seconds, and there is absolutely nobody near that A hill, so this is going to be first round again over towards Rated R.
They love a first round, don't they? as they eventually do lock this one in. 1-0 now in District. We very much could be going the distance on this one. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm already making predictions of a 5-4 at 1-0 up for Rated R, but a close round where Elevate would maybe just I like the idea, but the execution wasn't quite there that time around. They lose a couple of gunfights and suddenly that goes in Rated R's favor. Jack Fex tried his best, but needs the rest of his team to come up clutch with their gunfights, I should say, sorry.
Yep. Yeah. I do like the idea from Elevate, though. They're trying to push on different fronts, right? And so first they push down that home hill side. They realize that, yeah, there's a good hold in info room. So, okay, we'll change focus towards the B hill. And we see those players in info. And the time they make the B push, you saw Crazed actually jumped up into the info and started scrapping with everyone, fighting everyone. There's a little bit of a, understanding of how the setups go there for Rated R. But this time around, they've downloaded that information. They'll know what Rated R, where they're sat, where they're set up. And you bet they'll be making an adaptation going into the second round.
Oh yeah, they very much do download what the opponents are doing and then try to use that information to take hold of the game. Pains is going to go in there and clean up the kill on the Craze. Dragon's helping him out with that one as well. Jack now in a bad spot, just trying to survive. But if anybody's going to survive here, it will be Jack. Not able to quite get the shots in. Striker's just getting the better of him this time around with his teammates' help. Hydra will clean up on the Marsh though. Let's be careful of those lives, Marsh. We mentioned it last time around. Of course, he's nowhere near right now, but something to note as the rounds do go on. Is it going to be a consistent underperformance, if you like, from Mr. Consistent himself on the Rated R side? But right now, he won't be worrying about that with his team 1-0 up. And the only one's getting points right now.
That's it, isn't it? That's it. That home hill will get locked in the end for Elevate. But once again, they start the round about 20 points behind. This time, luckily for them at least, Rated R don't have control of the B hill as well. So they're going to be in a bit of a better spot to fight this one out. And actually, once again, they are trying that home hill push. They're going to get shot down from that juice stand, but this time around, they've managed to get through. They've got past that crossfire, and Strikers didn't really hold his ground as well as Pains did last round. So, good push here by Elevate here. Crimson's going to go down somewhere. It is actually up at the cinema. Will get picked up, though, and Slazen has to back off. Can't lose his life here, because that opens a full route through for Elevate if Slazen goes down.
Striker's now defending his home hill. Does have a bit of help. Hydra's overextended. He'll be really solidifying any control of the map right now. Striker's now, with the rest of his team, will push on through. Info is going to be lost if Rated R choose to keep on going. But some really good lance of fire coming in from the B side of things. I think that was Crimson's actually firing over either him or Jack, causing all sorts of damage. Domination ticks in for Rated R, but the kills are ticking in here for Elevate, so they're trying to get a hold of it, but they're not winning the gunfights. Can they keep going here, Elevate? B is the only thing they have control of right now, but the push is going to come in a second. Strikers and Dragons here and have to do something. Hydron's the only one to go down. They have to back on down, but there you go. The cut comes in from the middle of the map. Crimson's is there to clean up shop. B and C now in the hands of Elevate alongside that win condition. Rated R pinned back here.
They are pinned back. They lost a few crucial gunfights here, and the map's just going to turn on its head just like that. Elevate now with a very, very similar setup to what we saw from Rated R in the first round of things, but Rated R, they're a little bit more aggressive down on the cinema side of things. They're going to try and push through, try and find a kill here. So difficult, actually. But what they try to do is sit in this right-hand corner. You can scoot right up on the right-hand side there, and you can get down, as we've just seen there, but they do take very, very minimal damage, and it's enough to get that decap and almost enough to get that cap sometimes around. Gonna have to back off though, because Striker's lost his head in the end of things.
Rated R now trying to get back into this round. The win condition is just about there for Elevate. And I mean just. However, that will, of course, changes. B is going to exchange hands pretty quickly. Rated R are going to be the ones trying to jump onto this one as Slazen finds kills there, as does Strikers. All the kills starting to flurry on through very, very quickly, and the elimination just appears out of nowhere. Rated R, all of a sudden, just find a couple of kills and then a couple more. Get the round done just like that. And the elimination mechanic really not working in Elevate's favor that time around.
Not at all. Not at all. Slain out. Dominated. Lovely second round for Rated R. And, they don't want to meet the same fate as Enemy, do they? They don't want to fall 2-0 in their first game of the Pro League. They want to make it a fight, a scrap, and they want to push Elevate to that game 3. It'd only be right to see these two teams go into that final map.
Mirror matchups looking like it's going to come in terms of weapon placements. Utility on both sides aplenty. Makes sense. Plenty of quick initials coming in here, and you want everything at your disposal possible. I imagine we're going to see some big weapons dropped at some point. Rated R, though, are the ones that are taking advantage of this game so far, so changes might not come in from their side of things. Paints can't quite get through. Marsh, you need to get out of the way or help him get up, one of the two. Eventually, Paints will be dealt with, but Rated R not getting the better of things at the beginning of this round, and here comes the push in from Elevate in towards Info. Phelpsy is going to be momentarily on his own. His Hydron is put very, very red, and here come the reinforcements. Rated R will push them out here. Elevate will get a hold of B either way. Have to be careful not to overextend.
We do indeed. Be so careful. Oh, Dragons trying to find a bit of damage here on Crimsons. Isn't able to find much, to be honest with you. We'll push forward, trying to get a bit of control whenever the opposition allows, but a bit of a bait straight into Crazed Lancer, and Crazed Lancer is absolutely perfect.
Shots coming in. The rest of the team here to back up after the damage was dealt by Crazed. It's a really, really good hold by Elevate so far. Can they win this next flurry of gunfights? Yes, they can, by the looks of things. Slayers and Dragons, everybody dropping on down. Is it going to be the shoe on the other foot here? Dragons is the only one able to find a kill, and that might just about stop the elimination as the rest of the team now coming on through, but Elevate very much in a commanding position here. Jacqueline with a kill on the Marsh, who has to back on down. The domination about to tick on through. I don't think they're going to be able to solidify it here, but they made just about. Kill starting to come through once again for Elevate. If you're Rated R, you have to be careful not to leak too many lives here. We're still got another round to go. Saying that the respawns aren't looking too bad, but this round is. If you're a Rated R fan, this Elevate. Get one on the board for the first time on District. 2-1 now. That's much better from Elevate. A very, very convincing round.
Very convincing, and I want to give credit where credit is due. Phelpsy made some fantastic plays. He might be sat at the bottom, he might not have a kill to his name, but he has got many, many assists. And actually, throughout that fight, when they were fighting down at Cinema, Phelpsy was key in making sure that Elevate won that. He managed to bust a route straight through the middle there, found himself an opening, and got himself into the info room onto the opposite side of the map, and had a fantastic angle straight down into that Cinema where he put so much damage down to help Crazed and Co. win that fight. The moment that was over, made that rotation, forced the fight over towards the hotel, and realistically, that was Phelpsy through and through. Not a kill to his name, but it doesn't matter. The plays, you know, they're influential nonetheless.
Well done from Elevate. We'll be happy with that round. Get initial control and just hold it so well. Rated R didn't really get a sniff. Except they have to be careful of lives, and really it's not a bad spot for either team, but Phelpsy gonna add fuel to that fire. If you're Rated R, you have to be careful. Dragons is gonna find two though, and it's a pretty even start for both these teams so far. Marsh is gonna find it down to Hydron though, so you would say Rated R maybe with that slight advantage off the rip here from round number 4.
Interesting indeed. Phelpsy looking for his second here. Will Scarpa will head towards this A hill, just drawing attention away from his teammates, allowing them to come through and cap that C pretty much uncontested. Shouldn't be a problem right now. With Rated R, they still haven't got their full setup. You can see now Strikers just filtering into that juice room alongside Pains, and this is the full setup. This is the setup that you want for Rated R now. They've got that line across the board. They're ready to react to whatever Elevate throw at them, and it looks like at this point we're going to see a little bit of a push through Bandstand.
Slayers in now. Setting up here, waiting for the push coming through from Elevate. Sorry, I was very distracted I just took a drink, and there was a bit of glass in my glass. It nearly just died. Good lord.
Please don't. Please don't.
Yeah, that would have been an eventful broadcast, wouldn't it? I'm bleeding out on stream. Crazed and Co, though, trying to get a hold of A here. Trying to make the push. Rated R answering back, though. They're just brute forcing their way down the stairs here, but they may actually pay for this with a down coming in onto Slayers, and they have to back on down. Obviously just putting in great Lancer fire, and it's a cornerstone of how Elevate play, how good their Lancers are, aren't they? Look at them, just every single angle. Hydron just picking up a lovely little spot inside the juice and laying down the pain. If anything, now they just need to look a hold of A. Red all look like they're going to be able to break out here, though. Phelpsy's going to go down, but Jack finds 2. Jack finds 3. It's just the same old story when it comes to Jackfex, isn't it? It's District. It's just clutch time for him in Elevate 2-2 all of a sudden. Jackfex just turns it on, and suddenly the round is over.
You know, we asked questions, didn't we, in that first map? Where's Jack at? He's the first one down. He's the first one dead, but this time around, oh, God. It's same old Jack. Major Finals Jack. That would be his weapon skin and his character skin if he had one. He is performing for sure here on District. Going to play some incendiaries as well for his teammates to perhaps do a little bit more work over by the bandstand.
Incense placed either side. Nothing too crazy going on here in terms of placements so far, and I think Rated R maybe want to keep it that way after the last map. But Jack, though. 15 kills, 3 assists, 6 deaths. He's having a good game, even by his standards.
Oh.
He doesn't lose gunfights, really, does he? Not very often, at least, anyway.
It's just, you know, his map awareness, his ability to find picks where, realistically, you're lancering to the right-hand side, someone's pushing you left. Should probably be losing that one, but no, he's got it timed to, pretty much perfection there. As has this man Crimson. Look at that, that's beautiful. Let's get shot in the back in the end. Now Phelpsy gonna have to make a play here to keep his team in this round. Finds the down. The domination is 3 seconds away. In the end, Rated R, they have to back out.
They have to. They have to be careful not to overextend here, but they have really got the better of Elevate in the beginning of this round. Slazin is going to be picked up, but they're going to be able to find anything else here. Elevate, not quite. Down starting to come in. Jack will be dropped in the middle of no man's land as well, and Slazin has to be careful as he tries to pick him up. A war of attrition here. Both two teams just trying to find a little bit of control with their Lancers. Rated R, though, still the ones in control of this round, so to speak.
Yep. They're in control. They're in full control at this point. Double the points, double the hills. Striker's flashing himself. It's alright in the end, though. Dragons gets 1 for 1, and that's not a bad thing to do in what is essentially a 1v3 scenario now. Strikers has the ability to push forward and help support his teammate Pains here. Now eyeing up this D hill, and Hydrone, does he know that there's Pains there? He does not at all. Pains out of the woodwork, comes through, finds another kill. And that makes it ever so easier, doesn't it, for Rated R to close this one out?
Yep, they should be able to now. 30-second win condition, Elevate. We need to find at least 1 hill and get a D cap in here, because 2 cap is not going to be enough. Far too far behind. Pains, though. What can he find? Well, doesn't even find anything but apart from an assist. As Strikers comes in round behind Rated R with a grinding out round, just in control the whole time. Good plays by Pains, finds himself in a nice spot to shut down a push coming out of Elevate, and all of a sudden it's a very, very comfortable round for Rated R. 3-2 now. But Rated R were ahead in Bunker at one point as well, if you remember.
I remember.
Lost 3 in a row, so it's not over till it's over.
It's not at all. It's definitely not at all. One round at this kind of height of gears is absolutely nothing.
I wonder if somebody placed this class in my class. Trying to kill me off.
I know who the prime suspect would be.
Toby.
Toby Campbell.
An assassin if I've ever seen one. Anyway, Phelpsy now. We'll get the kills coming on through that. And the rest of the team are here to try and pick up. I say as Phelpsy did die, and Jack is the one to find the kills. Oh, I'll tell you what, the Crimson just turns it on and fights a couple of himself, and Dragon's trying to take him down with him. The kills come in for Elevate as the round kicks off.
Seeing Dragons explode in a fireball, it reminds me of that time on the Silent where he just walked up to the mid-cover and just blew up.
Oh, that was funny. Oh, God, everybody's killing the wrong people with these, but oh my God, it just ticks on through eventually a domination for Elevate. It's your fault for making me laugh. I'm trying to concentrate on the game, and I just remember when he just tried to throw it and he just hit the cover in front of him. Of course, he's called Dragon's Fire. Oh, God.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Anyway, it's 3-3.
That's it, isn't it? Rated R, they really need to make sure they're closing this one out quick. I don't want to see this go to a round 9 if I'm rated R. You had the advantage at the half. You know, you've come through. You've looked good, to be honest with you, throughout the whole of this district map. It's your pick. You really need to, you know, get those nerves under control at this point. Start to take that step forward towards this third map.
A big round. And put somebody on map point. If you're Elevate. Series point. Payne's though having a decent game of it. 17 kills, 6 assists, 8 deaths if you cast your eyes to the bottom. Oh, he's going to have to try and find quite a bit here, isn't he, as he runs into 3 players on Elevate side of things, but the kill's starting to fly on through. Once again, these initials have worked out really, really well for Rated R. Crimson's trying to bite back, though, and Hydron is there to help out as well. We'll find 2, although the second was just a cleanup, and Crimson's is there to pick him up as well. So, a back and forth, and ultimately it is Rated R who come out on top, but that could have been a lot worse for Elevate.
It could have been a lot worse, you know. If they don't pick up those last 2 kills at the end there, that's pretty much a wipe. And that's pretty much 4-3 round. That said, though, Elevate kept themselves in it. They're making a good push here. They should get strikers. Very, very nicely played there. Strikers didn't really know who to target there, who to concentrate, and just fall for his mistakes there. Gets caught out, and you got to think his team really needs to give him a little bit more time to get himself out of that situation. Decap's going to come through, and with a 30-point lead here, Rated R, they'll not be too worried at this point that they're losing this mid side of things. If they can get it down, if they can get a kill here, this would be huge. Crimson's very, very red, and this would be a great time to push if you are Rated R. You've got 1 down, 1 full red. There's the first kill on Crimson's, and the bandstand push is on. Dragons is going to get pushed here. Crazed flies through, not a care in the world. Will care that he met the end of a shotgun, though. Phelpsy finds a headshot there on Slazin, and these teams are just trading back and forth.
Trading back and forth, and it is going to be Elevate who come out on top of this one, though. DNF in their possession now. And 30 points behind will give them that win condition, as we haven't really ticked in too many points as this round has gone on. Phelpsy just still flying towards people. He's actually managed to get it down and a kill over there as well, as soon as we go off, and that is just disgusting stuff from Phelpsy. He will go down, but very, very well played. F now has went back over towards Rated R, but as that has all went on, as all of the distraction coming in from Phelpsy has allowed the rest of his team to now push over towards E. They get control of that Elevate, fully locked in. Rated R now have to make a push, and with very little utility on the map, it makes things so much harder.
It does indeed. It really is difficult. Question is, how long are Rated R really going to wait here? They need to put the pedal on a little bit and start to make a play here. Payne's perhaps the one that's going to do it. He knows Hydron's in front of him. He sees his teammates falling, so Payne has to push this now. Will do well just to hold a little bit here and get a little bit of health back before he pushes on, and he's going to do just that. Nice movement here by Payne. He's getting shot in the backside as well. Isn't going to be able to get the decap, and that's really what you came for. Stop these points coming through. The decap there, Payne's will be the sacrificial lamb. Or not, as he almost gets himself out. Will go down in the end, but E-Hill gets decapped at the same time, and that's the important thing we should be looking at right now. As Phelpsy takes down Jack Fex, Strikers gets the kill on Phelpsy, and Dragons gets a nicer pay there on Craze. This is huge for Rated R. If they can make the play across the map, yep, it's the win condition for COG. They need to find the breaks. They need to stop F being captured here, and that's what they're going to do. First on the board, get the kill on Hydron. He's going to go down, and you can see all hills ticking up towards Rated R as they lock in a domination to make it 4-3. 1 round away from going to that third map.
Oh, that's hard to bear if you're Elevate. Team kill comes in on E. I don't know if it necessarily means a huge deal, but in the end, they just lose it. A couple of really clutch kills coming in here from Rated R puts them, as said, on the map point. Trying to send this to it. Map number 3.
Question is what's going to go down, eh? Drop shot's going to go down, of course it is. It wouldn't be a European game without a drop shot going down, especially on that bottom side towards the bandstand. No shot grenades this time around to kind of close off that bandstand side of things, but Incense will help out.
Well, here we go. It's all about this drop shot now, as everybody flying towards the middle of the map. Who's going to manage to pick this one up? Jackfax is the first one to go down, though, on his side of things, as Phelpsy does answer back. Phelpsy going to down Dragons here as well, though, but Crimson's got a free drop shot ready, but there's plenty of other members of the other team here, though, as the kills start to flurry on through. Chris needs to find a couple here if he can.
Question is where Rated R?
Yeah, I know, you've got to be collapsing on him as soon as you can. They do so, and they will get a hold of this drop shot, and if you're Elevate, you have to back on down here.
You've got to be so careful, haven't you? One double kill, one easy kill here.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the round. And we can see the situation at this point in time. Elevate, they've got that F hill. They went back and got the cap for that. They have lost one in the info room, so they really have to push back, starting at phase 1, their own info side of things, their own jump up. They're going to push that one back. Phelpsy on this left-hand side, the cinema side, will start to pull round towards the back of the cinema and just draw a little bit of attention from Rated R. See, he's going to go. Yep, just waiting for his teammate there a little bit, but we'll have to make this push nonetheless.
Not the best of spots, and that is going to allow Rated R to probably bring this drop shot over. Strikers is the one a hold of it. With the hold of it, I should say, number 8. So he's further towards E. Of course, Strikers now just wants that opportune moment, doesn't he? It presented itself here. Does he choose to get rid of Crazed? Oh, he tries and he fluffs the shot. So there's one gone. Elevate will be happy with the outcome of that one. They don't really find much other than a drop shot wasted. That's a dub. Albeit a small one, but you've got to be careful here if you're in this bandstand. Maybe they're trying to bait them into using Strikers.
If you're Hydro and you make that up, hey, you fly forward, you try and put the pressure on the drop shot, and as you do that, your team behind you will be able to get that decap. Got to be careful because they rotated an extra member, Elevate, down towards this E-Hill fight. They're going to be numbers down elsewhere. You can see the 1v1s going on across the map here. Hydro is trying to fight for another one here as he fights. Marsh pushes forward. Phelps, he gets that kill on Slazin. That's huge. That's going to open up the D-Hill here for Elevate, and with Swarm just 20 seconds away, all hills are going back and forth.
They're all going back and forth, as you rightly say, but Elevate are the ones that need a lot here. All the domination's about to tick on through. Crimson's, without a hope and a prayer here, to be honest with you, is going to have to back on down. The rest of his team just dropping it at the wrong time, unfortunately. If you're an Elevate fan, the Swarm win condition is about to half into 10 seconds. They've got a hold of another drop shot. It would take an absolute miracle out of Elevate to try and win this round. There they go. We're going to a map number 3. Because why wouldn't we be with these two teams? Rated R 5-3. Lock this one in. We will head over towards Exhibit. And a nice round from them. It just comes down to that opening fight. They get a hold of the drop shot. Yes, they don't get much from it, but it's the pressure that is then on it to Elevate to try and do something. Yes, okay, Rated R waste that drop shot. But just the fact that they got the setup, they were allowed to amount a really big lead off the back of that pressure from that one weapon, and all of a sudden, it's a very easy round for them to clean up, and they will walk in to map number 3 with a pretty decent win on District, has to be said. 2-5-3 so far, and it's been a very, very close game. I'm interested now going into Exhibit which way this one goes. You know what? I said they were going to win map number 2 for him.
Yeah, it's true.
Should listen to me.
It's true. I know. I should have. I seen it halfway through the map. I was thinking to myself, oh, bloody hell, we're going to map 3. I was wrong.
That was where that glass came from, wasn't it? Just you and your predictions, putting this in my glass. Unbelievable. But yeah, really, really good performance out of Rated R. And in all honesty, they just controlled it well. And even when those big power weapons started to come in, just those initial fights that they win, then they just get that control they need in. And just a couple of good clutch situations from them as well, specifically in that round to make it 4-3 when Elevate were really in cruise control in that round is a big one to take. And that's ultimately what helps them win the map. We head over towards Exhibit. We'll put those first 2 maps behind us. Now let's think about this third one. How close it's been between these two, and I don't necessarily mean close in terms of scoreline, in terms of who's won it. One week it's Rated R, 1 week it's Elevate, and it's usually by convincing scoreline. I think top of my head, and I could be completely wrong, but for me it's always been like a 5-1 to Rated R, a 5-1 to Elevate. It's never been a close one, so I really don't know what kind of game we're gonna get. In all honesty, it could really be a one-sided affair. Last time round it was very much a one-sided affair in favor of Elevate, and that is probably because, and we picked up on it in the game, Rated R were being far too passive when they had that lead.
Yes.
Are they going to do that again, or are they going to learn from their mistakes? We'll find out on Exhibit very, very shortly through, but I'm excited to get into this one, and as advertised, this game, hasn't it? Hasn't it been so far?
Yeah.
Close between these two, 5-3, 5-3, as you can see on the bottom of your screens. But as said, over towards Exhibit, and who's going to come out on top? Who's performing better on the day on this map is what it's going to come down to.
It really is, and it's all about who's been looking back. As you said, many VODs between these two teams. They've got a lot of footage. They can go back, work out how these players, these teams work on this map. If they've done their homework, it should be pretty even and fair, right? I mean, both teams have the same opportunity to go back and look at the footage between the teams. The question is who reacts to that better, and who can kind of formulate a winning plan for this specific attempt. Last time when we saw the spring opener, we did see it was Exhibit actually that Rated R came through and won 5-1 on to take the series and to take that first kind of tick on the box. And we all thought at that point, it was an Elevate. It was an Elevate map up till that point, right? It was the first time they'd played it since Elevate beat Rated R 5-1 on it. And we thought, well, this is going to go to Elevate. And then Rated R, they came out, shocked the world essentially. So it might be another repeat of that. Who knows? It's going back and forth. The series is going, all the way to the wire every single time. And it's whether or not Rated R can get that foot in the door first for me. If they can get a couple of rounds racked up early, they'll take it. If not, Elevate walk.
Okay. Well, this series has been back and forth, hasn't it? And it would be crazy to not have a really good map number 3. And you know what? For me, I'm just happy to have good games between these two all the time. There's never you're never going into this one and thinking Elevate are definitely going to win it. Rated R are definitely going to win it. There is no guarantees when it comes to this matchup, which is what makes it so interesting. Maybe as time goes on, it becomes a little bit more, teams are starting to figure out what are their definitive best maps against each other and what they definitely should be picking and banning. Whereas right now, they still aren't sure. I think it's because they trade maps so often, don't they? In terms of, like, we've seen Rated R win Icebound, we've seen Elevate win Icebound, we've seen both teams win Exhibit, we've seen both teams win District. It's hard to decipher when it comes to map picks. And it really is just about who plays well or plays better on the day comes out on top in this series. But we are going to head over towards Exhibit when Ellie ready to go into this one. Predictions? What we're thinking? Come on, put it on the line for me.
Got to stick with Elevate.
I'm going to stick with Elevate as well, just because I'm the same. I can't change.
Yep. Yeah, it might be a differential in the score, but I still feel like from everything we've seen so far, Elevate should be the team that they come out on top, even if it's going to take them 3 maps.
Yeah, I think they were unfortunate to lose that 5-3. In fairness, there was a couple of rounds that Rated R, in their defense, they really did clutch up on. So if you're Elevate, you just need to make sure you solidify some of the rounds that you should win. There was a couple in there on District that they will feel maybe a little bit aggrieved by. So as we head into Exhibit, I think we're both sticking with it. I think we're both thinking an Elevate win. But I said we're nearly ready to get into it, and I'm interested to see who comes out on top, and interested to see who comes out on top in the whole season. Of course, there's 6 weeks of pro play coming at you live here every single Monday at 6 p.m. BST at egl.tv/live. Make sure you don't miss it. Make sure you get your alarm set, get your reminders on Siri or whatever the hell you use. You want to make sure you're here every single week to follow the EU Gears Pro League. This is how things have broken down so far. It has been a really good game between these two. Bunker 5-3 over towards Elevate. District 5-3 over towards Rated R. Exhibit now coming up. It notoriously has been a very topsy-turvy map for both two teams against each other. They trade it so often. But now, moving into it, not quite sure who's going to win this one, but I think we're siding with Elevate, aren't we?
I think at this point, I think we have to. And, if you're Rated R, go for it. Show us wrong. As we always say, prove us wrong, right?
In the chat, who do you think is going to win this one? Let us know as we move in towards Exhibit. We've got the Rated R owner in here, of course, as well. Always in supporting. We've got our mods. Thank you very much to everybody who is in here helping the channel and helping Gears Esports. Well, here we go. It is the marquee matchup in Europe. Elevate and Rated R. It's only week number 1, but these results do so often have a big impact on who goes in and wins the quarter. So big map for both these two teams in the grand scheme of things. Even though it's only week number 1, who's going to come out on top?
Very, very big question, that opening round. will give us a good indication, at least, of how these teams are performing still. A long night. Pains, though, not showing any of it. He opens up with a lovely little double, comes that round as well for a bit of supporting fire for Marsh as well. Finds himself a third. This is good for Rated R. Very nice opener.
Yep. Left Jack there just to bleed out too, because they know there's not really much help around, as well as Pains overextends over towards C. Trying to decap here, but maybe he's been a little bit overzealous in this one. We know he likes to be aggressive, but plenty of members coming off the spawn from Elevate there. Maybe just need to check that before moving forward so quickly. The idea was right, the execution not quite there on time.
Not quite, but the point lead will start to add up here for Rated R. They need to just get back and start to defend a little bit here. Phelpsy pushing up, going to be super aggressive. Strikers has given him all the position in the world here, all the respect in the world as well, as he falls back to that defensive position on the stairs, and he knows he's got a little bit of a helping hand there on the right-hand side. Phelpsy will know, though, as well, for sure. There are so many sight lines down bottom that you can kind of get a good inclination of where the numbers lie for their opposition team, and they will know that if there's no one down at the B side of things, there's no one defending super close, that they've probably got a decent push over the top. Marsh finds a nice kill on Crimson. Marsh was just hiding around the corner there. Actually gets one on Crazed as well. Just get taken out in the end, but it will be a 3-for-1 trade, and this should be a round here for Rated R.
Yep, solid from the start from Rated R. And if their Lancers are firing like this, it's a daunting prospect for Elevate. We like that aggressive play out of Rated R. I really was super critical of them when they played this map in the grand finals. You know, we'd seen them notoriously do very well against Elevate on this map as of recent. That they was just so good on Exhibit, and it was the aggression that comes out from them that makes them so good. But when they were sitting back on the one cap, they just seemed to crumble every single time, didn't they, against Elevate in that grand finals?
Yep, yeah, absolutely. And I think we saw it, didn't we, in the winners bracket side of things, that Rated R, they kept holding on, and I said before that grand final, like, it's not going to happen this time around. Elevate, they're not going to give you the chance to sit back and hold on like that. It's too risky. It's not a good strategy. It's an easy push as well, as far as, rings go. It's one of the easier ones to push, the home hill side of things.
So many different angles you can come from, isn't there? There's a lot of different places you have to cover.
And there's not much cover in there either. So if you start to lose, you
lose it.
You don't have much choice not to, essentially.
Well, start of the round this time round has went maybe slightly over towards Elevate. Marsh is going to even the odds there, but Phelpsy getting on going here. Can he find anything else here? He's got to be careful not to take Jack out, but he is there to help clean up shop as Marsh and Strikers follow suit and go down as well. Much better start to the round from Elevate, and they want a little bit more from this as well. They've seen Pains off the respawn. They want to clear Slazing out of top ridge as soon as they can. Push going to come in. This is a big gunfight that Rated R could do with winning. They can't. And now Elevate will pin them in. Plenty of good Lancer fire going to come out.
Yeah, Elevate wise, I think at this point, just to back off. They're going to get pushed by a full squad of Rated R here, and this is a nice little area actually where Rated R can really start to swarm forward. I know they're the cog, but they really can start to, put that pressure on, and we're seeing it here. Dragons gets a kill, ducking under the laser. Here we go forward as we look to assault the A hill, and it's going to be a little bit more of a difficult defense for Elevate, as they are going to get pushed. Crimson takes 2 big chunks, takes 3, and will go down.
Far too easy for Marsh there, wasn't it? Didn't even really need to hit any solid shots. Just a few 50% if you want, and gets them all in, and suddenly Crimson's is dead. So well played by Marsh for being aggressive there. And Rated R are able to get some control towards B because of it. Hydron has to back on down. Do with getting rid of Phelpsy here, Rated R. Up in their face as per usual. But it is Rated R with control, I say that, as they have lost B now. These next couple of kills are going to be very, very important in the grand scheme of this round. But here they go. They're going in the favor of Rated R. Hydron and Crazed both dropping down. It's momentarily a 3v5 in the middle, but Marsh is going to go down as well. So maybe Elevate can just about hold on. But Rated R do get B back and are in control with that 50-second win condition.
Yeah, indeed. Slazin does get down for a second or two, but will get extracted here as Dragon is the last one out. Also gets himself to safety. Jack now on the push. Will try to get some damage down here. Dragon's going to fall. Reply is strong, though, from Rated R. As they get that reply, they kill Jack Vex. And And Rated R, they're doing a good job here, just backing out, not letting too many kills go Elevate's way at a time. Always finding that reply here, and Strikers will take a bit of damage, but will back out in the end. Back to 100% health, both teams. Now, who will make the first push? That's the question. Looks like Strikers going to back off a little bit here. They know that they've got the point lead. They're not quite over the threshold just yet. Swarm will win if they get hold of this one, but Dragons, all they need is a decap.
They should be able to get this there, but Crimsons and Jackvex have combined well. The SOK beat is going over towards Rated R. They have got a hold of that decap now. Is that going to be enough? Striker's going to find the kill, and he is going to stop the cap on the B. It's a massive players out of Strikers. He's done just enough. Really well played. Elevate know it as well, and Rated R will take a 2-0 lead. It was there for Elevate, but really, really good players out of Strikers is what keeps them at bit.
Really nice indeed. Very, very smooth, slick wall bouncing at the end there as well. Obviously warmed up his thumbs.
Thumbs very warm. Nicely done.
Warm. Incense going down here. Just a little bit more to help with Hydrone, hovering this middle for quite a while. Question is, are they going to go for it, or are they going to start to build up on their home side? It looks like they're going to go back, placing that smoke grenade down, a little bit more utility to help. Just cut off vision, you know, cut off sight lines down in that big fight. It's very open down there, isn't it? There's a lot of space, there's a lot of angles that you can get. So having those smoke grenades actually on this map aren't a bad idea.
Into round number 3, Elevate are going to need an answer back pretty sharpish. Gotta be careful here. Can't let any more rounds really leak away. They're being close as well, or the second one was very close at least. There we go, getting aggressive down lower. Pains is going to back on up, getting damage in where he can. I've done an alright game so far with 6 kills, 3 assists, and 3 deaths to his name.
Yeah.
3
not horrendous, is it?
Is solid enough, but he's going to keep on going as well, helping his team clean these ones up. Crazed is going to get dropped as well. Even on low health, Pains just continues to be aggressive. Strikers is here to clean up shop. Crimson's not in a good position to help him out. He will drop Strikers, but he will come on up once again. And Beat will be under control of Rated R, looking to try and go 3-0 up here.
Be very, very nice if you are Rated R to start. You know, I mentioned it prior. If they get a couple of rounds, I feel like Rated R might be able to take this one, but it really is kind of swinging on this round, I think. 3 rounds up, Rated R going to be very, very strong. And they're just so strong at these corridor fights. I don't think I've seen Elevate win one just yet. They really are fantastic at this. When it's even strength, they are so, so strong. Elevate can't push through. They can't get the numbers. They can't get the kills. It's always 1-for-1 trades, or, you know, there's a down. Someone has to back off.
Yeah, it's literally Rated R heaven, isn't it? Like down low, plenty of cover, lots of stuff to bounce off. It's really where they thrive. And it's a big reason as to why they're good at this map. And it's a big reason as to why we got annoyed at them in the grand finals when they choose to back on and back down and be defensive, when we can see how good their aggression game is. Right now, though, they're trying to be aggressive to bite back to a couple of kills that did come through from Elevate. A couple more as well, as Dragons now goes down 2. And that will allow them to get a hold of B. Swarm win condition is there. Elevate's still looking to get on the board here. Paints is going to find one at Hydron. Can't find the second either. Crazed gets aggressive and gets in his face. Strikers, though. Unwatched has just sort of slipped on through towards B to get the decap in. Rated R, of course, with the lead, so the win condition will belong to them. Especially belong to them if they can find a couple more kills here. Not going to happen, though. Strikers and Marsh are going to drop down. This should be Elevate getting a hold of B, and it should be their win condition.
Should be indeed. Once they lock this one in, the Incen's going to come through. That's lovely little incendiary there. And actually, Phelpsy will go down. Will he get cleaned up? Second down on the board. Phelpsy still getting peppered in the back. Will get taken out in the end, and that's beautiful there from Rated R. Getting yourself that opening kill is a very big step towards securing this 3rd round. But look on the side of Rated R. 0 death for Dragons. 0 deaths for Marsh. You mentioned it. It was a factor in that first. Oh, Marsh is actually gone. Yeah, you're right. Completely gone. So 4v5 situation. It was a big factor on Bunker. Looks like it's going to be a factor here as well on Exhibit.
Slayers and dropping. As does Pains. This is going to be an Elevate round, you would think.
That's lovely from Dragons, though.
Oh. He's done well. He breaks away. The kill's coming in for Rated R. I tell you what. It's a 4v5 round. He finds the kill on the Crimsons as well. Is the 1 cap going to be enough for them, though? The push is going to have to come in. Slazen's going to decap here as well. The COG team win condition is still there. It's 9. It's ticking up. This is a 4v5 for a lot of the round. But is it over? Yeah, Dragons has won another gunfight as well. The Hydron Slazen wins one on the other side. Rated R. Surely you're going to lock this one in. Nobody there. That's a 4v5 round. That's a round that Elevate can surely not lose. 3-0. That is massive.
That's massive, and it's exactly what we were asking of them back, you know, in the EU Major. Get yourself to another hill. Get yourself, you know, 2 baskets rather than 1, and split those eggs. Because this time around, you won some 1v1s. You've got some of the best, most talented 1v1 players in the world. Let them shine. That's exactly what we want to see from Rated R on this map. They've taken it, they've listened, they've adapted, and they're looking strong now. 3-0 up, just 2 rounds away from once again starting off very, very strong here in the EU Pro League.
That's got to be a big mental round as well for Rated R, and it's going to be a big one against Elevate. In all honesty, that's got to sting if you're Elevate. You know you're pretty much in control, and Dragons wins a couple of gunfights, keeps a hold of that one side things of Elevate's home hill for long enough to allow the rest of his team to respawn back up. They push, they hold their home hill when they only need 1. Very, very nicely done. If you're Rated R, though, you got to be careful. A couple of players on 1 respawns, of course. Marsh was out. Dragons was close to it, as was Slazen. Just bear in mind, Dragons was on 0 respawns when he did all of these big players as well.
Yep. Oh, yeah. It was do or die, right, at that point?
Yep.
Looking to do or die. Phelpsy misses the incend, does get taken out in the end. The neck snaps as well. Bit of style, maybe from Payne's. Going to pay for it with his life, though, at this point. Perhaps not what you would have needed.
No, there is a little bit of a back and forth between Paynes and Phelpsy on times, it has to be said. So, no, not really a surprise to see it.
No, not really. But Hydrone, 0 lives. That's a surprise. Incend over the top. Doesn't connect.
Phelpsy now making the push on the Dragons, and that's twice in a row. Phelpsy's being made the better of. Craze, though. Can he find anything here? Really good shot's going to come in there. Dragon somehow gets up and finds the snap. He will eventually be dealt with by Jack, but then Paynes answers back, and it's just a trade fest down low, which suits the team who are in the lead, which is Rated R. 60 seconds to go. Marsh once again on 0 respawns. Hydron's out, though, as well. So both teams sacrificing far too many. And this is the end of the half, so lives will reset after this one, but they're not out the woods yet here, Rated R. A couple of kills. Look, if Elevate find Payne's, Dragons, and Marsh in the next gunfight, it flips completely on its head. It's still poised on a knife's edge, this one, albeit Elevate are the ones that have to make something happen.
Hydron, though, out of the count, isn't he? So,
yep.
4v5. You got to give the same opportunity to Rated R. If Jack, Fex, and Phelpsy fall, this is guaranteed 4-0. So, we've got to look at all those people on 0, see where they're at, see what's happened. We've seen 1 4v5 round 1 so far. Crimson's is going to go down. He's one of the ones with many a life left, so that's not too bad here. Jack Fex on the right-hand side, he's going to get pushed. Yes, he is. Strikers will back off, though. Is very, very red. Both will go down. Double down. That's Jack Fex out of it. That's the teabag there from Strikers, as well as Phelpsy's out of this. And this is a 2v4 situation, 2v3 situation for the time being. As 2 members respawn in for Rated R, they should be able to take this, as they are going to go up to that 250 point mark, and they are going to go 4-0 up.
Very, very well done by Rated R. That was it. I mean, look, Hydron was on. He wasn't able to respawn back in, but a couple of kills in a different direction, that's suddenly a very different round. But when it comes down to it, Rated R are getting it done when it matters towards the latter ends of these rounds, and they're walking away as winners 4 times in a row. Can they get it done in 5? Can they get the perfect map number 3 against Elevate? That would be a sweet feeling, considering what Elevate did to them in the grand finals. Elevate will say, well, we did it when the chips were down, but Rated R, this will be a nice bounce back for them if they can win the map they lost the grand final on. 5-0. It's got to give them some confidence going into the rest of the quarter. Here we go. It's potentially the last round of the night. Can Elevate answer back and at least get something on the board here? Or can they come back even?
A comeback would be actually insane, to be quite honest with you. But you ain't going to get it if you're starting off like that. Hydro noob rolls right out into Marsha's awaiting Nasher here. Now the push is on. Payne's going to push forward. So aggressive, so fast. Actually, maybe a little bit too fast. Will get himself back out as well. Incent comes out, takes out Phelpsy. Crimson's going to die as well as Strikers gets traded out, but this is good for Rated R. They find another kill here. And Chris, this is looking so good for Rated R as Pains makes the mistake that could cost them maybe the round. No, we'll get one. Will he get two? No, he gets taken out by Jackfex, and Jack might have secured that one off the revive. Managed to get himself that meat shield and get himself back in the round.
Oh, that was very, very dangerous. If Pains doesn't take down his teammate, they very well could have walked away as winners of this round. Jack and Co, though, have to break here. Rated R. Do you have the numbers to keep a hold of this? They're in there. In force, down low. Not backing down too much. They're just setting up in a position where they know they can defend from. Elevate are the ones who have to make a move, though.
They do indeed. They have to make that move. They've got to break this deadlock, this scoreline that Rated R just seemingly always manage to find. Push coming through here now from Phelpsy and Co. Not able to get anything, and you can see the difference here. Rated R, when they get pushed, they're very much happy just to back out. Incent's going to come back through. They don't lose too much, you know. This E-Hill's still ticking up points for Rated R. The more that fight happens in the corridor, the more points Rated R are gaining, and with an 80-point lead at this point, even that coming over to Elevate is not going to turn the tide. They need to get a decap at some point. And now, the question is, are Rated R going to turtle?
I don't like this. Well, what was ultimately probably their downfall in the grand final could be the thing that seals it for them as Strikers finds two. Maybe they haven't turtled quite enough. Maybe they just turtle a little bit, and that's how it's worked out. But here we go. Phelpsy needs to produce a little bit of magic here. It's not going to happen. The win condition's still there. Cog will eliminate. Not quite. Rated R on a 1 cap are fine. They're going to get a 2 cap, though. That's going to stick this right in half to 7 seconds. Elevate aren't close enough. They're nowhere to be seen. That is it. That is done. That is 5-0. In map number 3, and Rated R draw first blood against Elevate in the summer quarter in devastating fashion in the final map. What a series that was. Backwards and forwards we go, but we go on to Exhibit, and I don't think Elevate are picking that again this season. Well played by Rated R. Much more like it from them, and they walk away as deserved winners of this series.
Absolutely deserve it. I think, you know, Big Matt Sean in the chat has summed it up absolutely perfectly. Fair play indeed. Rated R, what a performance. They did it last quarter. They've done it this quarter. They come through. Exhibit is their map for sure right now. And you got to think back to that discussion we had, Chris, right at the start. They had the choice, Asylum or Exhibit. Coach Fru would have taken them down that Asylum route. And I think after that performance, I'm sticking by what I said. I think they should have gone the other way.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? It's just like it's recency bias, though. They know they beat them convincingly last time round, but they go with it again, and Rated R say, right, okay, let's swing, and they go for it, and very well played by Rated R, aggressive all the way through. Pains was flying at them at every single opportune moment, and they come out on top, not only because of that, but just a good all-round performance. However, a very, very good win. Doesn't quite solidify anything, but it's a good start for Rated R. Let's have a look, though, at how things are breaking down in terms of the standings already. Oxygen at the top is what they'll have to see because of that round difference, of course, but Rated R in there in second. And just take it with a pinch of salt. It's only week number 1. But Elevate sitting in third. No mercy. Down at the bottom. And a good way to kick things off in the summer quarter. It was nice to see Oxygen come out the gates flying. They look like a team who could potentially hang with Rated R and Elevate, although we will have to find out in the weeks to come whether they are there. No Mercy look like they have some work to do, but the matchup that everybody wants to see is Rated R and Elevate, and it comes out with a map 3 win for Rated R. And convincing circumstances through is a good way to kick things off.
Very, very good way indeed. We saw those new teams looking strong. Definitely on the Oxygen front, they're looking like a contender. And Rated R, they said they weren't happy, right, with that second place. They want to take first. They want to be the best team in Europe, and they want it hands down. They don't want any back and forth between them and Elevate, and this is a good way to start that.
Definitely so. Well, thank you for joining me once again, Fru. Thank you to everybody in the chat who hangs out as per usual every single week. Make sure you are following the channel, that we're live at 6 p.m. BST every single week. If you did miss any of the games, they will be going up on our YouTube. You can follow that as per the Moobot in the chat, who's been putting the link in there. Make sure you do follow that too if you do want to catch the games. But it's been a cracking week so far. The Rated R and Elevate battle just swings backwards and forwards consistently. Will it continue to do so throughout the rest of all time at this point in EU Gears? We'll be back next week with more games, and we'll see you then.